North Korea, isolated from the rest of the world, ruled by a dictator, a country whose people suffer from international sanctions because their ruler instills terror in the world. We're traveling through the world's most secretive country. Our first morning in the capital of Kim Jong-un's empire. About 3 million people live on the banks of the Taedong River. It is a privilege to live in Pyongyang. The government controls who gets to move here and who doesn't. We encountered the so-called motivational brigades, cheering up the capital's workers on their morning commute. We leave for our first excursion into Korean everyday life. Immediately, we learn that impromptu interviews are not allowed. It's not just that we are not allowed to talk to anyone. It is not permitted for North Koreans to come in contact with foreigners. Volleyball is the most popular recreational sport in the country, our guides tell us. Tennis is another trend, they say. Finally, they do permit us to talk to a player. We ask him why the sport is important to him.
Our people have to become fit to be able to defend ourselves against the Americans. Together, we will defeat the enemies. That is our people's first duty.
But is he really afraid that the U.S. attacked?
Yeah. We are not afraid. We are prepared.
Everywhere in the city, there are huge portraits of the big leaders. Kim Il-sung and his son, Kim Jong-il, the father of the Kim clan's youngest dictator, Kim Jong-un. The Arch of Triumph is dedicated to Kim Jong-un's grandfather, the eternal president. We are welcomed by the official tourist guide. Mrs. Kim proudly tells us that this arch is 5 meters higher than its famous model in Paris.
Up here you can see the text of our beloved song of Kim Il-sung. 장백산 줄기줄기 피 어린 좌우 압록강 굽이굽이 피 어린 좌우.
Pyongyang looks a lot like a Russian city, but there is also a distinctive Chinese influence. Whatever the Kim family's youngest offspring announces in his capital is not only law, but also a promise.
Our respected Marshal Kim Jong-un has called upon us to establish a global power in sports, science, and economy. Sports is very popular at the moment, and we aim to become even better at it.
Our attendants lead us to another gem of Pyongyang, the metro. Its stations are among the deepest in the world. In the event of war, they are supposed to provide shelter from airstrikes. Sheltered, or rather shielded, is also what the population is from independent media. The internet is banned in North Korea. There is no free press. The only source of information available are public newspapers, which only spread propaganda. The old metro cars are from West Berlin. Model Dora was produced in the 1950s and 60s. In 1997, they were sold to North Korea. Engraved into their windows are traces of the youth of Berlin. In the metro, commuters are constantly exposed to propaganda as well. We're allowed to travel with them for one stop. At Yongweng Station, we are told to get off again. We're visiting the kindergarten, Gyeongsang. It is a privilege to be allowed to live in Pyongyang. And it is an even greater privilege for your kids to attend an institution like this. After all, it's the future elite of the country that is educated here.
We teach sports because it strengthens the body and makes it healthy and resistant. This is how these children will continue to make our country flourish in the future.
The little ones are taken care of from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Today, they are drawing snowmen, stock still and disciplined. Nobody is disruptive. Suddenly there's a blackout. Everybody remains surprisingly calm, as this happens frequently. Five-year-old Kam Kong-sung is the star of the Gyeongsang kindergarten. Prelude in D minor by Johann Sebastian Bach. Allegedly, she has only had classes for 1 year. Those who have talent are being nurtured and shown off. Another highlight, the kindergarten orchestra is giving a special performance in 3/4 time in our honor. The residents of Pyongyang are doing splendidly. That is what they want to show us. Leisure activities keep them in good spirits, as Kim Jong-il, the current dictator's father, had already realized. Bowling alleys, ice rinks, indoor pools. All this is topped by the biggest water park in North Korea, the Munsu Water Park. Workers from all over the country are being brought to Pyongyang to gaze in amazement at the achievements of the regime. The intended message is, what you see here, everybody can have in the future. If you work hard enough, you will be doing just as well as the people in the capital. A pipeline supplies the water park with seawater, even though it is 25 miles from the coast. As always, our attendants try to keep a distance between the visitors and us. After some discussion, Mr. Ham chooses an interview partner for us.
I'm from the country, and I'm visiting the capital with my delegation. After many other stops, we have come to this water park today. I can sense the love of our respected Marshal Kim Jong-un here. Solely for our pleasure, he has built this water park. It moves me so much, I can hardly put it into words.
Praise that seems rehearsed for the leader and his love for the people that manifests itself in everything. We are shown the restaurant, the cafe, and the hair salon.
These are our beautiful haircuts the Korean ladies can choose from. At the salon, we only use the best equipment because our respected marshal wants our women and men to get nothing but the best.
18 haircuts for women, 10 haircuts for men. If you wear one of these, you show your loyalty to the regime externally, too. The regime of a dynasty that has created its own world, with its own chronology even. In 1997, the regime introduced a new calendar that starts with the birth of Kim Il-sung, the country's founder. Thus, in North Korea, the year 2018 would be year 107. The brave new world of Pyongyang even houses a riding club. As far as noblesse is concerned, it rivals Western premium stables. Again, we encounter groups of visitors from the countryside, having come here to have a look and to marvel. Based on our observation, those who look on are common people, while those on horseback seem to be members of a higher social class.
This is the first and only riding club in our country, but we are planning many more in other cities.
The horses are Hanoverians from Germany and quarter horses from England. How these noble animals came here despite the embargo remains a mystery.
Our respected marshal has opened this riding club to provide each and every Korean with the possibility to ride.
The population of North Korea is estimated at around 25 million. It is highly unlikely that all of them will ever get to ride. This is probably more about keeping the idea of the ideal country alive in people's heads.
So he's on a visit by the love of our respected Marshal Kim Jong-un. 어디서 왔습니까? 네? Okay, he's not from Pyongyang. He's from the countryside, which is the 황해북도.
황해북도 곡산.
Goksan County in North Hwanghae Province.
Miriam Riding Club is beyond his reach. Only the country's elite ride here. Through dark Pyongyang, we head back to the hotel. We keep seeing uniforms. With 1.3 million soldiers, North Korea's army is the fourth largest in the world. There's no freedom of travel in North Korea. Those who want to travel need a permit, especially in the capital. Going there on the spur of the moment isn't possible. Those who live here, or at least can send their child to a boarding school, have achieved quite a lot in Kim Jong-un's system. Right next to the huge 1st of May Stadium, there is a flagship project of North Korean sports, the Soccer Academy. Thousands of students each year are hoping for a place in this elite school. Only about 30 children are selected per year. For those chosen few, it is maximum commitment and loyalty to the regime.
Our great leader, Kim Jong-il himself, came up with the idea of founding this school. In 2013 it opened, and our respected Marshal Kim Jong-un has visited it several times as well.
Schools like this one that are being watched by the leader enjoy preferential treatment. Kids here are between 7 and 12. Not all of them are good enough to have a career in soccer afterwards. Loyalty to the regime is something they all learn, however. We visit one of the dormitories. We are asked not to film any children in here.
Yeah, this is a room for boys, little boys, and they have bunk bed, not like girls and older boys. And what else? So the bunk bed is more fun for boys, little boys, and more spacious. So they have a little bit, rough time here, like playing around.
10 boys in one bed under the watchful eye of the Kim dynasty. The assistant principal still remembers the visit of the current dictator.
We call it indoor football area. Actually, when our school was established, we didn't have a roof here. It was plain, And when our great Marshal Kim Jong-un visited our school, he came here and looked above, and he told us it will be great to have a roof here. Then we can have students here can have a training when it's raining and when it's snowing. It's not quite cold for little kids, so we built a roof.
A roof for the students. Kim Jong-un even sees about such small details. The dictator is a caring father. That is how he wants people to perceive him. And they should learn that they owe him special thanks and absolute loyalty. 5 hours of practice in the morning and 4 hours in the afternoon. Light snowfall is considered good weather, so they are practicing outside. A request to speak to some of the boys is denied at first.
You know, like I told you before, we have to provide the students all the conditions, you know, normal conditions, like every day. Or the school doesn't want to break any, you know, like routines. Yeah, it's not good for them.
Routine aside, the assistant principal makes an exception for us. We are allowed to ask one boy what he likes best about his school.
It's just great to be able to learn and practice at this school that the great leader built for us. It fills me with great pride.
A totalitarian state leaves no room for protest or even spontaneity during childhood. The next morning we are taken to the Potonggang department store, where food is being offered in addition to everyday commodities. Price tags are off limits. Those who can pay in the currency of the big nemesis, the USA, in dollars. The others have to pay large sums in North Korean won. Every citizen receives a certain amount of rice and cabbage for free. Everything else is expensive, especially imported goods. Even pickled cucumbers and garlic. The shortage is not evident, but palpable everywhere. We are told apartments were usually unheated, even in Pyongyang, and often have no electricity. We are driven to the city's first gym. We are curious as to what will await us there. The interior is luxurious, but it is icy cold as well. The energy shortage doesn't spare anybody. Kim Jong-un himself has opened this gym. Red stickers commemorate the big day by indicating which of the machines he looked at during his visit.
I am a gym instructor and usually work on the second floor.
Employees act as guests for us, as there seem to be very few visitors here.
We have to train our bodies well, to strengthen socialism and to be prepared for the war against the United States.
There it is again, the ubiquitous argument of a threat posed by the US that is injected in people from an early age. Every North Korean, we learn, has their apartment assigned to them by the state. We suspect there are considerable differences between them. In this apartment building in the best location, we finally get to visit a private household, of a selected family, of course. Only Mrs. Kim Mi-ran is home. Everybody else is absent. With her children, her husband, and her grandparents, Mrs. Kim inhabits incredible 2,350 square feet. Her grandfather is a professor who has been rewarded for his loyalty to the regime with this apartment. The family does not pay any rent. Doubtlessly, we will only hear positive things about life in North Korea. Kim Mi-ran's husband played in the temporarily unified national soccer team of North and South Korea in the early 90s.
He was the only one on the unified team to score a goal.
Souvenirs from his big performance in the Indonesian capital, Jakarta.
This is our kitchen.
Kitchen and dining room.
The big water bucket reveals running water is not an everyday reality here either. A can of Nescafe, a real luxury. It costs about $15 in North Korea, which is more than 10% of an average monthly salary. It's not only our attendants who monitor every word, Mrs. Kim says. The so-called house manager is part of the surveillance state as well.
My husband and my grandparents were abroad many times. Yet every time they come back, they say, even though it might look beautiful and sparkle more elsewhere, our country is the best because it is the only place where you can live well and happily.
Mrs. Kim and her family belong to the upper class. Someone like her has every reason to praise the regime. Many things are left unsaid or remain hidden, to us as well as to North Koreans themselves. On this trip, we did not learn what is inside people's heads. Individuality is frowned upon. Every citizen has to unconditionally submit to the values of the Kim dynasty, at least outwardly. That is the #1 rule in this mysterious country.